Tessa, Eric, Ashley, thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations on bringing back Tiny Toons.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Manny.
Thank you.
You guys play some great characters. I mean, I got Buster with me, I got Sweetie, I got Babs. What else could I want? How excited are you guys to be able to bring back the Tiny Toons and almost make it? I mean, I was just talking to Nate about it. You guys they don't miss a beat with you guys.
That's awesome. Well, that's a good note to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Kind of kept the integrity of the original. Of course, it's something that we can all agree, I think, on this chat, that it's something that was a part of our youth growing up, and to be able to talk to you about it today, for you to be able to report on it, for us to be able to speak about it, is kind of like giving back to something that helped raise us as kids and ultimately influence us to become who we are and what we do.
Yeah, it's really weird that you say it that way because yeah, I do remember growing up with them. And David still even brought up he put up on screen he had some of the McDonald's toys from back in the days, which I
Yeah.
remember very, very fondly. What so was it easy for you guys to be able to transition with somebody that had a foundation and already kind of a voice to kind of jump into those roles, or did you guys find yourselves trying to add just a maybe a different touch, a different spin to it?
Yeah. Um, you know, um, for me, it kind of just came naturally. I feel like my energy sort of really matches with Babs Bunny already. So I already had a great sort of foundation. And obviously, I grew up watching Tiny Toons and loved Babs Bunny. And shout out to Tress McNeil because, like, what an iconic, legendary person, but also really big shoes to fill, really, really big shoes. And so, I'm just grateful to be able to like carry on that legacy to have a new generation of Tiny Toons fans to have, hopefully be able to see Babs Bunny and hear her voice and, sort of have the same sort of um effect or still care allow what am I trying to say? Hopefully a new generation of Tiny Toons fans will connect with Babs in the same way that I connected with Tress McNeil. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, it's really an honor to voice it. I didn't really let's see, I listened. I was like, oh, as soon as I found out that I booked Babs, I was like, oh, I should go back and watch episodes and try and like match and do the exact same thing as Tress, and I have to match and I have to be exactly the same. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, no, I should bring myself to this role. Like I should bring Ashleigh to the role. Like what does Ashleigh sound like as Babs, or what does Babs sound like with Ashleigh? And so that's kind of the preparation that I did was no preparation. So yeah, hopefully, it works out. But thank you for that compliment earlier too, because that's helpful to hear.
So what do you guys find that you guys love or maybe uh, relate to with your characters? Let's start with Tessa with Sweetie.
Oh, I love Sweetie so much. I'm so obsessed with her. There's so much of me in her as well. We're very small, we're very loud, we're very passionate. We love our friends and would defend them to the ends of the earth. That's how I feel always. I'm a very intense person, but I love very hard as well. And I think that is very prevalent in Sweetie. She has this like tough exterior, but then this like really warm, soft inside. And I think that's the biggest difference between the original Tiny Toons and this one is that there's just like so much heart. It's grounded in love and friendship. And I think it shows in the storytelling and it's the best. I love it. It's the best.
Eric, how about you? I know you get to be a little competitive because of with Plucky and everything that goes on there.
Yeah, I mean, that dynamic hasn't changed that much. Plucky is still everyone's best frenemy, and that has always been a favorite kind of you know, in the tradition of rabbit season, duck season from the Looney Tunes, that's always going to be a thing, that rabbits and ducks just kind of don't really get along, but they do, you know, especially when they're forced to be roommates in the situation. Often when we get to do these kind of homages and nods to originals, yeah, it's hard, obviously, not to look back and try to collect or use information that was put out there in the original show, but to kind of make it your own is, of course, the challenge. So, although we were able to kind of like have permission to kind of like look back and take from the past, it's always nice to see that they're willing to accept new choices and new you know, layers to these characters, obviously, because the writing's different too. The writing's different. It's the 22-minute episodes versus these 11-minute super gag driven shorts that were you know, we watched as kids. But yeah, I'm looking at today's audience and how faster these kids are. You know, I got a 7-year-old and he loves, you know, like these like longer stories and these kind of like opportunities to kind of dive into these characters' backgrounds and relationships towards each other. So with this new writing of these new characters, you're kind of expected as performers to kind of expand on these characters and these roles. So yeah, but the comedy's still there, obviously. The cartooniness is still there, but I like how grounded in reality some of these situations and relationships are.
Yeah, you guys, it's still it's a little bit longer, yes, but it's still very, very fast paced. It's very still to the note of Looney Tunes, a la Looney Tunes per se. And it's just fun. And being fans of the original and now getting to work in this kind of modern take to them, which is still very, very much Tiny Toons. What do you guys appreciate? What kind of changes do you appreciate that this new audience are going to be able to see, building on kind of what you were saying of exploring more of their background?
Yeah, one of the big changes that was made, was for Babs and Buster to be siblings rather than love interests. And I know that was a big deal online. I saw a lot of strong opinions on that choice, but and it's obviously iconic, Babs and Buster Bunny, no relation, of course. But I'm excited, for like I said, a new generation to sort of have their own, version of the Tiny Toons Looniversity, Tiny Toons universe. I had grew up with my sibling. We're very, very close, and we both, I followed her off to college. Um, we went to the same. We're both from Seattle, Washington, and we both traveled way far across the country to Washington D.C. to go to school. And so that was kind of us, learning how to be our own people, and who will we become when we're away from our families, and how can we lean on each other for support, and how can we encourage each other and just become the best versions of ourselves. So I was able to really pull from those experiences with my sister, and apply that to Babs and Buster's relationship in this iteration of Tiny Toons. Yeah, I just was I really connected with that version of the story. And we have a lot more, that there's a lot more story to tell where we're not boxed into that one sort of hook for the two characters. I really was excited to get to explore Babs and Buster and how they grow and how they learn and how they, how how wacky can they get away at college, which is a real thing.
Yeah, I love that actually, the brother sister aspect. I have a similar situation where my brother and I were really close until we had to go our separate ways in schools, and it forces you really to get to know who you really are as a person, because now you're put into these situations that
Yeah.
like right here on screen we have the Sweeney and Babs dynamic, who like would they have really become friends if they weren't roomed together?
Yeah.
And off screen, did you guys do anything maybe to kind of tighten that friendship a little bit? I know it's just voice acting, but at the same time, off camera, sometimes you form these bonds.
I mean, we got to hang out a couple times, which was really nice, and we've just become friends. We kind of lucked out because we didn't really get to record together a lot because of the pandemic, but I think that just our off-screen friendship just kind of like bled through into the characters a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's just a lot of love there. So I think because there's
Yeah.
a lot of love there, it just really bleeds over into the characters, and you can feel that. So I think that it's there.
I think we both found a love in karaoke as well, and that really helped bond us. We went to karaoke a few times in the beginning stages, and like, man, Tessa is incredible karaoke person.
So are you. You're incredible at karaoke too. Ashleigh went to my wedding, so she was there.
It was so fun. Best wedding. Best wedding.
Nothing like coworkers and co-stars bonding together to make the product even that much better.
Besties.
Yeah. You
Um,
gotta
yeah.
have fun while working.
Oh yeah, and in speaking with all of you, I can definitely tell that bled through to your characters because it's almost like talking to the characters in real life. So thank you for your time. Congratulations on the show, and thank you for bringing back the Tiny Toons. And we look forward to hearing your voices and talking to you again in the future.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.